My story, I can't tell you how many times I've been telling the same, because I'm nearly every day in another school, all over Belgium, England, America, Germany now, since 2 weeks. So I was asked to tell what I went through. My two parents came from Poland to save themselves. And that's all I know from my family, because a grandmother I never saw, an aunt or an uncle, because they all perished in Poland. They didn't have the chance to come to Belgium or to another part, because my father didn't earn enough money to bring his mother with him. Even he came on his own when he was 17 years old to get cured because he had skin cancer. And in Poland, they had no clue what he had. After he was cured, after 2 years, he went back to get married. And when he applied to bring his wife to Belgium, they said, first, we have to know if you earn enough money. So it took him a year to prove that he had enough for her to come to Belgium. When I saw the papers, I realized that he never earned that money. It was good friends who provided him with the false papers. That's how my mom, after a year, could come to Belgium and raise a family. I had a brother who was born in 1932, a second one in 1937, and I was the little one just before the Germans decided they were going to conquer Belgium. End of 1939. It wasn't the best time, but did I know anything? No. But I have a story. When I go to the children in school, I tell them I was a little princess in a bad war. Because I was a lucky guy. I was the lucky one. I was blonde. My name was Regina, a Belgian name. So nobody realized that I was Jewish. When we had to flee from Antwerp, and a secretary from the bond from the workers in Antwerp said to my father, Jacob, it's about time you leave Antwerp. Go to my mom. She's got a pension in Hemixem. She's got rooms there, and downstairs the men are drinking beer, telling stories. You'll be safe. Well, my parents and two brothers and myself, I was 2.5 years, but I was the only one who can go down from the room to play outside. And between the house where we were hiding and the next door house, in the wall was a hole, and I could go from one house to the other house. Well, one day I was kind of hungry because I had not enough food. We didn't have the papers to give to the lady where we were living to buy food enough. So I saw the lady next door putting food on the floor for her cats because she had no children, so her cats were her babies. When she made food for her husband and for herself, it was the same good food she put on the floor. When she went back in the house, I went through the hall and I went to take the food. I didn't know that she was standing behind the curtain and that she had seen me. And that was the first encounter for me as a 2.5-year kid with that lady. And from that day on, she gave food for my parents, my brothers, and for myself. Well, we thought we were safe, but somebody must have realized that there were some Jews hiding at Poldin. And he went and denounced us to the Germans who were living about 200 meters from us. So an officer went from the camp to the mayor to tell him, you have to go and pick up these people, bring them to Mechelen, just like all the other Jews in Belgium. We were lucky because he had a son of 12 and he sent the son to Charles, the one who was living next door, the husband of Anna who gave the food to us. And he gave him a message, tell to Charles to go to these people to tell them to leave as quick as possible, and I will take my time to come and pick them up. When Charles came to tell us, Mr. and Mrs. Sluszny, you have to leave. Just take what you can take. Take the 2 boys, and maybe you leave the little one with us. We have no children. She's blonde. Nobody knows she's Jewish. We look after her. If you find a good hiding place, you come and pick her up. Well, that good hiding place took 3.5 years because my parents changed 15 times from hiding place. Only in the night, because my father had this big scar on his face. He had black hair. He was everybody could recognize him as a Jewish man. During the day, he never went out, only in the night, from one place to the other, at least 15 times, which I found. I stayed with Anna and Charles. I was the happiest child in that time. I had my own bedroom. I had food enough because they had a supérette from food. And even new clothes, because one of Anna's sisters was a seamstress. I had everything, a lot of love, because Anna and Charles would have loved to have a child, which never came, so I became their child. I always called them Anna and Charles, nothing else, because Charles took the chance when nobody could go on the street after 10 o'clock to take a box, put food in, and go and look for my parents. He found them 15 times. He always gave them the food. It was a part of their survival. And when I stayed with Anna and Charles, Anna took me to church every Sunday, but never asked for me to say anything. She respected that I was a Jewish child, but I had to go so the people would think, yeah, that's her child. I always also went to kindergarten. And when the Canadian came to liberate us, I was going to be 6 in September and go to the first class. So the teacher said to Charles and Anna, if you think to let her go and study later, she should go to Antwerp to school, not in Hemiksem, which is a little town. So Charles and Anna decided they were going to write a little note to my mom that she had to come and pick me up. Well, I speak about my mom, but that day, I didn't recognize her. 3.5 years, not seeing her when you're 2.5. Believe me, you don't know who she is. But I was lucky again, because Mom said, Charles, Anna, how can we thank you? And Charles said, don't take the little one completely. So Mom gave a word that I would come every Friday till Sunday. Well, I did that all my life. When we got married, Anna and Charles was there. When I had my children, Anna and Charles was there. I was their child, and I still called them Anna and Charles. My children called them Tante Anna and Uncle Charles. But one day my daughter said, can't be. Tante Anna goes to the church, and you go to the synagogue. So I said, it doesn't matter. If you are people who have the heart on the right place, these are the real good people. This is family. Doesn't matter what faith they have. The faith doesn't mean anything. The faith should be inside you and not to make war. So we have been living together, the two families, all our life. There was never a bad word between us, and even the grandchildren and the grandchildren, we are still connected, because Anna and Charles, long time no, they're not here anymore. My parents are not here, but the two families are still the best friends, the best family. Thank you very much.